Good morning, Zinat. How are you feeling today?
Yes, good morning, Nabila. Yes, I'm good. What about you?
I'm fine, thank you. As you have told me that you are working at a construction site
Yes.
in Perth,
Hmm.
so can you please tell me about the temperature challenges you face when you work in your night shifts at outdoors?
Yes, working in nights in Perth is really challenging, especially during the winter seasons. Temperatures drop significantly, and I often struggle to keep warm for the entire shift.
Okay.
My body doesn't respond well to cold, and even I
Right.
experienced symptoms of mild hypothermia before.
Oh, you have hypothermia?
Yes, these symptoms shown during the winter seasons.
Okay, so sad. What's the method? Like, what methods or product do you currently use to, you know, regulate or maintain your body temperature when you are at work?
Not that much, actually, not kind of any method. I just layer up with thermal clothings and carry hand warmers. Sometimes I wear heated gloves and a heated jacket, but
Okay.
they only work for certain parts of for my body.
Definitely.
And the problem is that they don't just adjust based on my activity or the actual weather changes. The only it's just only provide the heat, nothing else.
Yeah, you are right. So, how, what do you think? How effective do you find these existing solutions, and what's their limitations?
Uh, they just help to an extent, but the heat isn't always enough. It's often give in center areas like my hands, and after few hours I have to change my clothing layers or start to get too hot or too cold. It depends on the weather. The weather is not always the same. It
Yeah,
changes, right?
it fluctuates.
Yes, and especially when my activities level change, the heat gear also runs out of the battery fairly quickly.
Yes, that's the main problem, I guess. So, would you be interested in a device that is wearable and that automatically, adjusts or balance your body temperature based on the weather and your activity levels?
Absolutely. It would be great if something could manage my temperature without my constantly adjusting layers and worrying about running out of battery. I think something like that would be perfect for long shift, especially when I'm working alone at night.
Perfect. So, what are your thoughts or what are your concerns, or like which features would you like to prioritize in this situation in such product?
The main thing I would be concerned about is the battery life and durability.
Yeah, you have told before.
Yes,
Yeah.
my shifts are long and I work in harsh conditions, so it would be neat to last at least for 8 to 10 hours, I guess.
It's 10 hours long shift per day?
Yes, sometimes because it depends.
Okay.
Not every day, but it depends on the work pressure.
Yeah.
It should also be rushed enough to handle rain, wind, and even occasionally fall or heat.
Okay, I got it. So, would you prefer a device that gives you control over the temperature, or would you trust an AI to manage it automatically?
I like the idea of automatic control, especially if it saves me from manually adjusting things all the time. But I would still want to have some manual control in case if I feel too cold or too warm and need to make quick adjustments.
Perfect. So, let's say if a device like this were available, so would you consider purchasing it? And what do you think? At what price? At what price would you like to purchase that product?
Yes, I think it's something I would invest in, especially if it could help prevent hypothermia, as I mentioned before, or overheating in long shifts. For a good quality product, I would be willing to pay around $120 to $170 highest.
Okay, not more than that?
No, not more than that.
Okay.
If it's provide a good battery life and durability.
Okay. So, this is my last question, I guess. So, I think it could be like, do you see any other potential uses for such a device in your day-to-day life beyond your night shifts?
I think it could be also be useful when I'm hiking or camping during the colder months, like what I actually love to do. Even when I'm working, I spend a lot of time outdoors, so having a device like this would be very handy.
Okay, so sorry to bother you, Zinat. So I have told you that that was the last question I asked you before, but I have some couple of questions for you. So
Yes,
yeah,
sure,
okay.
no problem.
So if there is a device that can give you feedback like alerts or notifications when your temperature outside is within the safe range, would you find that useful?
Definitely. Sometimes I don't even realize how cold or hot I'm getting until it's too late. Getting an alert or vibration that tells me to either warm up or cool down would help me to avoid those situations.
Okay, so how important is comfort and wearability for you in a device like this?
Okay, it's really important for me. If it's bulky and uncomfortable, I wouldn't want to wear it at all. I need something lightweight that doesn't restrict my movement, and I already wear a lot of gear for my job, so adding something else needs to be seamless.
Okay, perfect. So, what kind of power options or charging mechanisms would be ideal for you? For instance, would you like to have a removable battery or fast charging, like in this device?
I think having a removable battery would be useful because I would swap it out during shift if it's run out. Fast charging would also help, especially if I can top it up during a break. I wouldn't want to it to be stuck without if the battery dies.
Okay, so what do you think? What features would be a deal breaker for you?
If it's too fragile or needs constant maintenance, it would be a deal breaker. Also, if the battery life is too short or the device doesn't provide consistent heating or cooling, I think it wouldn't be worth the investment. I need something reliable.
Okay, perfect. So, would you be interested in some kind of additional features, for example, like an app that tracks your temperature over time or integrates with your like data with the other health data?
That sounds interesting. I like the idea of tracking my temperature over time, especially to see how different conditions affect me. If I could integrate with other health apps like tracking my activity levels or sleep, that would be a big bonus.
Okay, so how would you feel about using the device in different weather situations, for example, like heavy rain or in the extreme wind?
It would need to be weather resistant for sure. I work in all kinds of weather, and the last thing I would want it for is to stop working because it got wet and because the wind affects its performance.
Okay, yes, that's one of the valid points you have just made. So, so how important it's for you to have an options to customize the look or design for the device?
It's not a deal breaker, but it would be nice to have different colors or designs, especially if I'm wearing it every day. I would want something that doesn't stand out too much or still looks good.
Okay, so you do not want anything exaggerating, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, would you be interested in trying out a prototype of this device before it hits the market?
Absolutely. I would love to try it out and give feedback. It sounds like something that could really help me during my shifts.
Mhm.
So, testing a prototype would be exciting.
Well, how do you feel about using wearable technology in general? Are you comfortable wearing this kind of tech gadgets like fitness trackers or smartwatches?
I'm pretty comfortable with wearables, the things like smartwatch or fitness trackers.
Okay.
I have used fitness trackers before, and I like how easy it is to monitor my steps and health. As long as the technology is easy to use and doesn't require too much feeding, I am okay for it.
Okay, so now my question is, would you be more inclined to wear the device under your clothing, or you want it to be visible like the smart tracker or the smart watches?
I think I would prefer wearing it under my clothing, especially since I work in cold conditions. Sometimes discreet that doesn't attract too much my attention would be ideal.
Okay. So, how much time would you be willing to spend setting up the device before each of your shift?
Not much time, to be honest. I would want it to be as simple as turning it on and letting it do its job. If I had to spend more than a couple of minutes adjusting setting, it might be get frustrated for me.
Okay, yes, that makes sense. So, do you assume any situations where you would not want to use this device even if it were available?
As long as it works well, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I might not use it if I'm in a situation where I don't need temperature control, like on warmer nights. But overall, I would be probably use it regularly.
And what do you think? How important or significant is sustainability or eco-friendliness to you when you purchase this kind of technology?
It's somewhat important. If the device is used a lot of power and or wasn't built to last, I would think twice about buying it. But if it's energy efficient and built from durable, eco-friendly materials, that would be definitely be a plus point.
Okay, so would you want a feature, for example, a feature like that tracks the device's energy usage and shows you how efficient it's becoming?
That's a cool idea. It would be useful, especially if I want to keep track of how much power I'm using and when I need to recharge it. I like being in control of my tech, so having that data would be a nice touch.
Okay, so what do you think? Are there any specific brands or products that are wearable technology that you trust or prefer over others?
I have used Fitbit and Germine before, and I have good experience with them. I would say I trust brands that focus on reliability and user-friendly designs. If a new brand was coming out with something innovative like this, I would still be willing to give a try.
Okay. Do you think a device like this should have a minimum design, like minimalist designed, or would you prefer it to be more feature with rich and multiple functions?
I learn more towards a minimalist design. It should
Like you are attracted towards
minimum design things. Okay,
Okay.
It should do its main job, keeping me warm or cold, really in a well functioned way.
Alright.
Extra features are fine as long as they don't complicate the device too much or get in the way of its main purpose.
Thank you very much, Zinat.
Thank you so much, Nabila.
That's all for today.
Yes.
Thank you for your time. I guess you have shifts tonight as well. So,
Yes.
get some rest. You have a good day.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.